Well, with me now is the Shadow International Development Secretary, Diane Abbott. She's been at the meeting of the Shadow Cabinet today. And after that meeting, Jeremy Corbyn sent out a letter to MPs saying that he couldn't support the Prime Minister on extending bombing to Syria. Why did he do that?
I think he wanted to make his position clear. And the point is that what this is all about is what will make the British people safe. And Jeremy does not believe that Cameron has made the case for bombing.
But the point is he's the leader of the Labour Party, and as I understand it, there was going to be a further meeting of the Shadow Cabinet where the party was going to try and decide a position, yet he's come out with his position already.
I think his concerns were clear in Parliament this afternoon. He felt, as leader, he ought to make his position clear, and his position is this bombing will not make Britain safe any more than bombing Iraq and bombing Afghanistan.
Yeah, but I mean, is that leadership, though? I mean, what does that say to his colleagues who thought they were going to discuss it?
I think it is leadership. I mean, what we hope is that people will go home over the weekend, they'll talk to their friends, their family, their constituents, and then come back on Monday and we make a final decision.
I mean, is he not really trying to railroad his colleagues? Because we understand that majority of them, some 15, spoke up against his position in the Shadow Cabinet meeting.
I don't think that was quite the balance of forces. And you have to remember...
Well, would you accept the majority spoke out against?
What I do accept is Jeremy appoints the Shadow Cabinet, not the other way around. You cannot have a Shadow Cabinet voting down the leader of the Labour Party, who's just been elected with the biggest mandate in history.
Why can't you have that? I mean, he's talked about new politics, collective decisions, consultation.
Jeremy is almost exactly where party members are on this. 70%, there was a YouGov poll this week, 70% of party members are against bombing. Jeremy is where party members are. It would be strange for the Shadow Cabinet to try and vote down their leader. There's nothing like that in the rule book. Clearly, Jeremy will consult and we'll have a discussion, but, you know, we've all got to be in alignment. The party, MPs and the leader of the party.
But, I mean, what we've had tonight is the Shadow Foreign Secretary, Mr Benn, saying that he thought the Prime Minister made a compelling argument.
Well, I've not heard Hillary's statement, but at the end of the day, Jeremy's leader of the party. Jeremy's the one with the mandate. We will have a discussion. We will have an agreed position.
You have a mandate, don't you?
I didn't...
Well, you're an elected MP. You have a mandate.
Yes, but I didn't contest the leadership election.
Yes, but don't you feel that all the members of the Shadow Cabinet actually represent Labour voters who have given them a mandate just as much as the Labour members who voted for Jeremy Corbyn have given him one?
Any MP represents their constituency. When it comes to the framework, when it comes to the framework of the Labour Party, only Jeremy represents the party as a whole. And you have to respect the fact that he had the biggest vote of any leader since the war.
Yeah, but I don't recall either you or Jeremy Corbyn respecting previous leaders. You rebelled, you took different positions.
Yes, but the point here is that Jeremy's position is the one the members have, and I think members will be even more strongly against bombing.
Well, members have tended to select the leader in the past. You haven't respected them in the past.
No, I think when I voted against the Iraq war, it didn't have the support of ordinary members, and we found that out.
Yeah, but that's not the only thing you or Jeremy Corbyn have opposed the previous leaders on. He, as we know, has rebelled 500 times.
Yes, but you'll find that whenever Jeremy voted against the whip, he was voting in line with party policy. And we have policy on Iraq. And the other thing is that we debated bombing Syria at party conference.
Can I just unpack that? When he voted against the whip, he was voting in line with party policy.
Well, you take tuition fees.
Who says party policy?
You take tuition fees. Party conference never voted on tuition fees. But my point is that...
Well, therefore it wasn't party policy to oppose it. I mean, in fact, it was introduced, the Brown Report was commissioned by a Labour government.
We can quibble, but we're on the verge of war. Jeremy reflects where Labour Party members are. We had a debate at Labour Party conference. We've got a resolution. And the view of...
So that's all that matters is what the activists in the Labour Party think, not what experienced elected MPs. And I come back to this, elected MPs, the Shadow Cabinet is elected.
We're all elected, and what matters is what will keep the British people safe. And people must look at what Cameron has said and make a judgment.
So what you're saying when you say that Jeremy Corbyn appoints the Shadow Cabinet, not the Shadow Cabinet appoints him, what you're basically saying is if they oppose him on Monday, they should be sacked.
I'm not saying that. I'm just pointing out what the democratic...
You're just threatening, but you're not prepared to spell out what it means.
I'm just pointing out what the democratic structure is. Jeremy is the one who's been elected by the mass membership.
So what's the significance of that? He's going to sack the shadow cabinet if they don't agree with him?
No. The procedure is what I've said. We'll meet on Monday. We'll debate it.
But what's the point of meeting? He's already said what he thinks. And you're saying that he's got the mandate. So why bother consult the shadow cabinet again?
Because the leader always consults, and that's what he's doing.
And then ignores them, which is what he's done.
No one is saying he's going to ignore people.
Well, he is. He's spelt out his position in this letter.
People might come back after the weekend, having spoken to people, and they might... Because there were some people strongly in favour, some people strongly against, but a lot of people in the middle. We don't know what's going to happen with that middle ground.
But he spelt out his position, as he did on Trident. What's the point of consulting the party?
Because in the end, Jeremy believes very strongly in unity.
All right, if it does come to a vote, what is the Parliamentary Labour Party going to do? Is it going to be a whipped vote?
We'll tell you on Monday. We're having a meeting on Monday. Then we're going to the Parliamentary Labour Party meeting.
What would you like?
I want us to do whatever will keep the British people safe.
And you believe that it will make the British expose them to more danger if Britain joins the Syrian bombing?
I believe Cameron's not made the case. I really believe that, and that's what Jeremy said.
But what actually Jeremy Corbyn says, I do not believe the Prime Minister has made a convincing case, and he says the issue is whether the Prime Minister's what he's proposing strengthens or undermines our national security. So what Corbyn believes and what you believe is that what the Prime Minister's proposing undermines national security.
All I can say to you is there's unanswered questions about the ground troops. No, I'm not asking about
questions. I'm saying, do you believe that what the Prime Minister said today undermines national security? Because that's what Jeremy Corbyn is saying.
What I am saying is about the safety of the British people.
So you don't agree with him?
I always agree with my leader. But what I am actually saying is that it's about keeping the British people safe.
Yeah, exactly. So you do believe that going further would undermine their security?
You know, you've got to look at it in context.
In the context of Jeremy Corbyn's letter.
Yeah, well, let's put it in the context of the situation. There's an absence, we think, of a proper diplomatic approach. The party feels that we should put the diplomacy first.
I mean, you've got the Socialist Defence Minister of France writing in The Guardian tomorrow, appealing to Britain to support France in this military effort.
There's no question of standing on the sidelines and doing nothing.
Well, that's what you want to do. You don't want to do anything more.
No. There's a lot to be done on the diplomatic front. There's a lot to be done to bring the Syrian civil war to a halt. Yeah. There's a lot to be done to allow the regional powers to step up. And there's a lot to be done with the biggest refugee crisis since Second World War.
About a struggle to preserve Jeremy Corbyn as Labour leader?
No, it's about a struggle to stop us bombing Syria. It didn't work in Iraq, it didn't work in Afghanistan, and some of us are doubtful as to whether it will work in relation to Syria. People will die if we go ahead with these bombings. You know, we could get drawn into a land war.
130 people died in Paris.
Yes, they did, but we could get drawn into a land war which would go on and on. That is what we have to consider.
OK, thank you very much indeed, Diane Abbott.